and participate in the virtual Fukushima Youth exchange with Latin American and Hawaii students this year. And they also presented at the Seattle Cherry Blossom Festival. They're also working on a presentation for Japan Fair on the Fukushima and kind of what they've been doing on that too. So that's it on our end. Thank you.
Thank you. Elaine, then you had a report from the
Yeah, I do.
Post?
Thank you, everyone. So most of you know that I've been a volunteer on a number of levels with the newspaper, the North American Post. I write a lot of interviews and, just working closely with Tomio. And also for the last, I don't know, Tomio, maybe 10 years, except for the last 2 years, we have the newspaper has sponsored tours to Japan. So most everyone I can see on here are Japanese from Japan, but so really the tour is probably more geared for, non-Japanese expats, but everybody's welcome. And so this year, we had planned a tour 2 years ago to go to the island of Shikoku, because that is an island that is not very, well traveled. So we planned that 2 years ago in the spring of 2020. And of course, we all know what happened after that. So with your knowledge that Japan borders should open, we think perhaps in June or sometime later, we are working with our travel agent. And we are looking at a time frame of October, probably October 12th to the 25th. And so I think with that, it'll still be a tour to the island of Shikoku. We're hoping it will be also Osaka and Kyoto, kind of stay more in the south area. Now, however, we just heard today that, and this might affect some of you who are going back to Japan anyway, that the prices, United on the website had a certain price. And then when the contract got signed with our travel agent today, it doubled. Gosh. So with doubling of the price, there's just no way we're going to pass it on to the tour members. That's just going to be out of reach. So we're still cautiously hopeful that we can find a different itinerary, perhaps into Tokyo, but the whole itinerary will really depend a lot on the airfare. So it's really a tentative announcement right now, and you'll hear more from us through the newspaper, but we do have a list of folks who have signed up from 2 years ago, but we still have room. Okay, so we're looking at about just generally 18 plus 2 tour guides. You all know that my Japanese is horrible. So we have David Yamaguchi, who is more bilingual, that will be helping with the tour. And then Tomio, you're going to join us perhaps for part of it. And we might even be able to do a foodie tour in Kyoto. We're still working out the details. So, okay, so that's my announcement, is that hopefully in October, we can do a tour to Japan. And now, Tomio, you will announce and talk about the 120th party maybe later.
I'll do that later, but getting back, we're hoping if this is successful in a couple of years, we'll have 2 spring and a fall trip to Japan. It's been very popular. And just for your information, Shikoku, that's where my father comes from. In the city of Wajima is in Ehime-ken, Shikoku. So I wanted to go there since I have some friends there. So thank you, Lane. But getting back, or maybe we'll, Christine, you want to go next and just announce your Kenjin-kai message?
Yes, thank you. So Fukuoka Kenjin-kai, right now we are slowly to open it up. And just last week, we were thinking about maybe started with like the popular event that we had before the pandemic. So we're thinking about maybe having a karaoke events in September. But right now, we're still trying to figure out where will be the best place to host it because some of the restaurant might not be, willing to open up yet, even though if we want to. So we're still trying to negotiate with the restaurant to see if we can do it. And if so, we probably gonna be people like the Terry's restaurant, the Terry's cafe. Was that right? Over at the Bellevue. And so we're hoping to do it over there. And this will be kind of welcome for everyone who like to join the karaoke, who like to sing, just come and have fun. But so far, the time we're setting is gonna be in September 24th, on Saturday around noonish. Thank you. That's all for us right now.
Thank you. Ellen, I see you in Yucatan, Japan Fair. Yucatan, I can't hear you.
Oh, yes, we're here. Let's talk about the Japan Fair then. We were planning is going 100 miles an hour. And
Turn up your volume, Alan.
see. I don't know where the oh, you're talking to a technical. Let's see.
Maybe that's okay.
Okay, sorry. I talk louder then, huh? Yeah, the problem is, not problem is, but we are having the July 9th event. And right now we have 3 events that we want to promote. That is, Asami-san, can you put the share my video, please? So we are having the cosplay by Sakura-kon, along with kimono photos that we had as last year. We had many participants on both occasions. And also we're having the haiku contest, haiku being in English and in Japanese. The judges are Michael Dylan Welch from last year, who is the head co-founder of Haiku Northwest Conference. And Japanese judges, it comes from Rainier Ginsha out of Seattle, Hisao Mogi-san. And before the haiku contest begin, though, in May 31st, we will have a free haiku workshop in English, so that people who are not familiar with a haiku, although from our experience from last year, a lot of people from Europe and throughout the United States, they were much more familiar with haiku than there were in many other Japanese nationals that I know. And they are very much interested. Last year's workshop, we had about 60 to 70 participants. It lasted 2.5 hours. It is a free, and this haiku contest will be for all ages, youth and English and in Japanese. And that's about it for today. Yuka-san, you got something?
That's pretty much it. Again, we are making a virtual again this year, and using the technology, we try to get to reach to anybody who was a friend, who are friend of Japan everywhere. So there's some live event from Japan, and we try to bring some people in from other side of the globe. So, but it's much shorter time. Last year, it was about 6 to 7 hours, and this year, our live time is much shorter. So we can put it into more concentrate for that live. So please looking forward to that July 9th. Thank you.
What time does it start, Yuka-san?
7 p.m. So that is
Okay.
in Japan, it was about 11, right? On a Sunday morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So approximately how long will it go? Couple hours or 2-3 hours?
About 2 hours.
Oh, okay. That's quite a bit shorter. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Then maybe we'll turn to Thomas. You wanted to report on the Nikkei Manor. As you all know, the Nikkei Manor is a assisted living program at 6th and Dearborn. And is whatever or not a branch, a program of the Northwest Cairo Northwest. Yeah. So Thomas, what are you there?
I'm the director of marketing for Nikkei Manor, so not Cairo Northwest overall. And actually, one of our board members is here as well, Manami Honda. She is going to be giving maybe a update as well from the Cairo Northwest perspective. So I'm going to update real quick on Nikkei Manor, and then I'll pass it over to her. So it's probably been a couple years since a lot of you all have gotten an update on Nikkei Manor and kind of the ongoings, what's happening. We did just hire a new executive director, Dwight Edwards. He came on back in February. He's been in the long-term care industry as an executive director for going on about 12 years now, if I'm not mistaken. But he's worked from Vancouver up to Seattle over to Ocean Shores, and then recently was in Utah for a little bit. But he's a really great addition to the team. He's a really great leader. Tomio, I think you had a chance to meet him a couple weeks ago, but I think he's going to do some really good stuff for the community. He's got some great ideas, and he's really ready to kind of move forward and get the community bolstering again. Kind of staying on another positive note, staffing for us has not been a major challenge. I had Mary, who's our business office manager, pull some numbers for me. Really, one of the big things we can hang our hat on is staffing. We have 23 out of our 60 employees have been with Cairo Northwest or Nikkei Manor for 10 plus years, and 39 out of 60 have been there for at least 5. So, with that being a general issue in the industry and staffing, we're really, really fortunate that we haven't had to face some of those same challenges. On a slightly more difficult note, COVID has definitely presented a major challenge for us, both on from an occupancy standpoint, but then on a community engagement and trying to invite the community back into our community from that standpoint as well. Our number one goal is to keep our residents and staff safe, our family members as well. We've had a really challenging beginning of the year to 2022. I think we've been in outbreak status 4 out of the last 5 months, and we currently are right now with quite a few residents and staff members being sick. We were very fortunate for the first 2 years of COVID that we did not have a single resident case. We had maybe a couple staff cases pop up here and there, but nothing that sent us into an outbreak until January of this year. So 2022 started off to be a pretty challenging year for us. We were moving in a really good direction, but it's been pretty tough for the last couple months. We're in the middle of an outbreak, like I said, right now, kind of in the heat of one. So hopefully by the beginning of June or so, we'll be getting out of that. Now, that does kind of lead me to my next point. We had a community partners open house, or like a open house for businesses and organizations that have supported us over the years, that was planned for the beginning of June. And I believe Dale had shared that possibly with this group, but that was originally planned for the beginning of May. We've had to put that back to the beginning of June at this point, and in all likelihood, it's going to need to be pushed back again. But once we are able to have that, I would love anybody that's on this call, your organization, yourself, anybody you'd like to, have come out and see the community. We'd love to have you there. It's going to be kind of a hybrid event where we can be outside and inside to a certain capacity. We'll have staff there to talk to everybody, some food. If anybody knows about Cairo Northwest food, it's still the same. We still got a lot of the same kitchen staff that's working there, and they do a wonderful job. So we'll have some food and stuff, and you'll be able to take a peek around the community and talk to some of the staff. And I think Manami, some of the board members have planned on being there as well. But yeah, the other exciting stuff we kind of have on the horizon, shared a couple of these things with Dale. We're planning a small summer festival. It's right now looking like it's going to be at the end of July. We're kind of trying to coordinate it and have it come alongside Bonadori in Japan. So we don't want to have it. We don't want to compete with Seattle's Bonadori Festival. I don't think that. I think we'd hurt our turnout if we try to do that. So we're looking at one of the last 2 weekends in July. So if anybody has any vendors, Ayamakai is going to set up some tables. We're looking to maybe have some food trucks. Northwest Taiko, I think, is going to be out performing, and a couple other groups that we've had in the past. But if you know of any vendors or other organizations that are Japanese that would, like to be a part of that, or if anybody has any advice for me, it's kind of my first time planning a larger scale event. So I appreciate any advice and any information that anybody can give me. Dale's connected me with a couple people from Kawabe House that had worked on their summer festival in the past, and I know they're not having it again this year, but I think hopefully we're going to be able to meet in the next couple of weeks and chat about that as well.
So I just want to mention that Wajimaya had done their summer festival. It's done on Weller Street. Tomio, I don't know if Denise is still planning to do that, but had done it, and it is had been on the weekend of the Bonadori. So you should contact Denise with Wajimaya and try to make sure that there's not a conflict.
Of course, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we don't want to compete with any other organizations for a time slot. We're tucked back in there a little bit, so I don't know if people would find us if we're not the only ones having an event that weekend. But yeah, I can definitely do that. And then the last thing that I did want to talk about a little bit, Tomio, you asked about this a little bit earlier, was our availability. I think I've had this question a lot in the year that I've been at Nikkei Manor. Do you still have a wait list? No, we don't have a wait list, and I'm not sure exactly what the wait list situation was when it was. I was handed a big binder of what I was told was the wait list when I started, and it had about 200 people in there, and it was more so like a database in a binder. And they had moved it over to an actual electronic database at that point. But yeah, we don't currently have a wait list. We do have some availability, mostly studios at this point. But yeah, if there's anybody that you all know of, or anybody that I should be connecting with to try to help us fill some of those availabilities, let me know. I think a big thing that we're trying to remain is, serving the Japanese community. So we're being particular with who we're taking into the community because we want to still serve the same community. So it's taken time to fill the building up since, COVID's kind of run rampant through the city and through our community over the last couple months, but we'll get there at some point. And that's kind of all I've got. So Manami, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, I'm Manami. I'm one of the board members at Cairo Northwest, and I will put website of our new board members. So I know we've been really kind of hidden in the JA community for a while. Now we have good number of board members, and we are working on in every aspect to build a relationship, and then a relationship with all the Japanese American organizations in this area. We're still kind of working on a lot of stuff. We are working on the budget. We are working on also, reconnecting to organizations here. But important thing is we are focusing on the safety to our resident in Nikkei Manor. We have a lot of security issues right now in the international district. So newly elected White and then our board members are working on putting the gate for the entrance of the parking lot. And then also we're working on the Seattle Police Department to see if we can work on better security in the area for the entire community. But we are also working on putting the annual report so we can communicate our update to you guys soon. So we're trying to be more visible, and then we're trying to have more relationship with you guys, and hopefully we can benefit each other in different ways. We still have a limited activities going on, but we plan to have Ayamekai fair, I think in June, right?
June 25th.
June
yeah.
25th.
Yeah.
So we're happy to hear from you guys what you expect from us, or yeah, like anything. Like we kind of start with the resident in Nikkei manner to explain what's going on, and we're trying to answer their questions and then address their concerns first. And then we will we're working on to reach the communities right now. But about COVID cases, Nikkei Manor is not only the place to see the cases, new cases. It's kind of reflect what's going on in the community. But I think they're working on to deal with the case pretty well. So we're kind of happy to see that. And then new elected Wade also give us the update frequently. So I think we're on the right track. So hopefully, yeah. If you guys have any questions, yeah, let us know. Any of our board members are happy to reach you guys. So
I did have one or two other things real quick. We do still have Kokoro Kai, our adult day program is still running. They're needing some more participants and volunteers as well. They really want to get that program back up to where they can host a good number of people. Right now, a constraint to that is definitely having enough volunteers. So if anybody in the community, I'll put a call out there for Tomoko, who's the head of our Kokoro Kai program. He'll appreciate that. If anybody knows any volunteers or people that would be willing to volunteer.
Is it in person or online right now?
It's so right now they had to put it off until June. They had started back up for a couple months, but with us being in an outbreak in the building, we
Yeah, great. Yeah.
put a pause on it. So she does Fridays right now virtually, but as soon as we're back out of the outbreak, she'll be starting back up in person. She's been on and off for the last 8 months or so.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question, Thomas. When you say volunteer, what is the age? Are you accepting like high school student as well?
So right now, it would probably not be high school students because the adult day program happens during daytime hours. Now, well, summertime, you know what? I'm not going to say no to any volunteers. Send them our way. We'll figure it out. We'll find something for them to do, I'm sure. It's coming to be summertime now.
Some of the school, they require the high school student for the volunteer hours for graduating. So
I remember being a high schooler at one point too. You're usually pretty reliable. So yeah, we can look into that.
Thank you. Any questions of
Yeah.
Thomas or Manami?
Hey, Tomio,
Yes.
Dale's internet just went out in Mercer Island, so he's dropped off. But we wanted to mention that the Nisei Veterans Committee, we are having our the Memorial Day service on May 31st to, excuse me, 30th. The Monday.
Monday. It's
Monday,
a holiday.
yeah.
Is it a holiday? Yeah.
Right, we're going to have another Memorial Day service at the Lakeview Cemetery, and we will have in person at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's all he wanted me to tell you.
Okay. That was suspended for a year or two, right?
Yes, for the last 2 years, but the Lakeview has allowed us to congregate again with more people.
Thank you. So I'm going to go to Tojo-san. You have am I allowed to go to Japan? No.
I'm sorry, not yet. Well, technically, Americans are allowed to enter Japan, except for the purpose of the sightseeing. So for other purposes, you are allowed to go into Japan for a longer stay, like a long-term stay, like a students and a business purpose. And if you're working for a company in Japan, yes, you can go. And then you can go for working for their nonprofit. Even the missionaries are allowed to go into the country now. And then for a short term, if you are going there for business, yes, you can go. You have to have the organization or company or school who sponsor you for your visa. So the company needs to apply the visa for you at the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Labor, Health and Welfare website. And then once you got the permit, then we can, at the consulate, we can process a visa for you. But as I said, that's for all except for sightseeing. Sightseers are not still allowed into the country. If you have a close family member in Japan, like you have a brother who are living in Japan, you can go actually. Even if the purpose is not business or study. For example, if you are Caucasian, or maybe a Japanese American is all same. Your son is married to a Japanese national, and they live in Japan, and then the son is going to have maybe a musical concert you like to attend. Yes, you can go because you have a close family in Japan. Although your son is not Japanese, still, just American, but, you are allowed to go into the country. For quarantine requirements, no more quarantine is required if you have 3 shots vaccination, 2 vaccination original shots, plus 1 booster. If you, and then you can use also public transportation to move around. So if you have 3 shots for the COVID, you are allowed into the country without any quarantine. If you cannot meet these requirements, you are still required to stay quarantined at a certain place for 7 days. But with the 3 shots, you can go right after you arrive. And PCR test is still required 72 hours prior to departure from America. And then at the arrival of in Japan, if you, of course, if you don't have a PCR test prior to past 72 hours prior to your departure, you cannot go. But when you arrive in Japan, if your test is positive, you have to be quarantined for, I think, 5 to 7 days or so. But anyway, so still visas required for all Americans to enter the country. And for Japanese, no visa requirements, so no quarantine, so you can go anytime. All right, so the next question is a prospect. As you understand, the Japanese government eased their restrictions in March. And then I think maybe April 10th or so, they are kind of decided to allow up to 7,000 people to enter the country. No, that was a previous requirement. They changed from the number from 7,000 to 10,000. It has been said that they will further ease the restriction and from 10,000 to 20,000 in June. And then the Prime Minister Kishida said, if I remember correctly, May 5th also in UK, he announced that probably Japan will further ease the restrictions. So there has been a kind of the report by news media that Japan will further allow sightseers coming into the country starting in June, but we have not heard anything officially from Japan, so we don't know yet. So just cross your fingers for sightseers. But and gradually, as I see, the Japanese government is easing the restrictions. So hopefully, as Elaine said, probably her trip plan will be possible later this year. But we cannot guarantee anything at this moment. Okay, any questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Hiro. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Well, maybe we'll go to Moriyama-san. Do you have a report?
Yes, I realized that we didn't participate in the last meeting, so I guess we haven't told you about any report out about the coming of the age celebrations. So we had January 16th, we had a seijinshiki, the coming of the age celebration. Thank you for the support from Japan Business Association and the Consul General's office. I think it was great success, even though we are planning to have an in-person event, but like 9 days before our event, Bellevue College told us, we cannot have it in person because of the COVID surge. So we switched over to the online only event. And actually Karen is not here, but she generously accepted to have broadcasting from the JCCCWs. So we did it. And I think we have about 160 new Seijin registrations, and about 100 people joined through Zoom on the day of the event. And we have a YouTube stream as well, which is over 200 people watched it in live. And we have some archive. And I believe, I don't remember correctly, but I think it's more than 1,700 views in a week. So I think it was great success. And we are going to plan for another one next year and hoping to have it at the Bellevue College in person. So that's what we did in January 16th. And what we are doing right now, we start having the caregiver for the dementia, supporting group for the caregivers for the dementia persons. So family or people who are doing as the occupation, they get together through Zoom once in a month, just talk about their situation in Japanese. We realized that there's no place they can discuss in Japanese. So this is the place to not professionally, discussing about the care plan or anything like that, just to share the information they're feeling, or if they need a support, they can chat about it. So that's what we started doing. And in August, we haven't really decided that date yet, but we plan to have a day camp. In the past, we had a summer camp, which is an overnight program. We stay at a lodge at the Crystal Mountain Resort and have a Rinkan Gakko, which is a summer camp in Japanese technically. And it's conducted in all Japanese and bringing more Japanese type of the program, like cooking the curry rice, the kids cook and serve for the parents, that kind of stuff. Well, because of the COVID, we didn't have it last year or year before, and we are thinking to have it this year. But when we discussed about safety plan, what we need to do to prevent the breakup, I think it was too much work. So we changed our plan last week to just have a day camp, which will be in somewhere in
around around the Cougar Mountains. Yeah. We will use the trail. Sorry, Yoko-san.
No, you were there. So
yeah. So I think the date will be Saturday, August 20th, that we're thinking for the day camp. Will be all in Japanese, but will be good opportunity for kids who don't have much opportunity to use Japanese. So we use the trail for the orienteering, and then a lot of only outdoor activities, and do some kind of old Japanese traditional games, or maybe some radio taiso kind of thing. So that's what we're planning.
that's it.
Thank you. Speaking of the community college, Matsumoto-san, you have a report on, is it Japan Week?
Excuse me, hold on a second. I have a question.
We can't hear you. Oh, there you are.
I have a question really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, so about the day camp, who can join?
We are thinking about anyone from like 6 years old. Is that the elementary
Yeah,
school?
with maybe 5 to 6 years old, and then kids. We wanted children to join with their family members, like adult, not only the kids only, but we want the family, or like just the adult and the kids, together.
And so what's the price for those?
So we haven't haven't decided a detail, but it won't be like too expensive because it's not like $100 or anything. It's a really small amount of money we're thinking. So, but we are hoping to get the announcement with more details like this week or next week. So,
all right, thank you.
Okay, so hi, everybody. Nice to see you all. I'm going to allow me to share my PowerPoint slide. Students made some, let's see, graphics. So here it is. So this year's Japan Week will be the 6th annual Japan Week and will be held from September 24th, Saturday, through the 30th, Friday. Although we probably won't present anything on the 25th, Sunday. And September 24th, Saturday will be open to the public, but we don't know whether it will be live webinar, online sessions, or an on-campus face-to-face event. We don't know it yet. And September 26th, Monday through the 30th, Friday, will be mainly for Bellevue College students as usual. And these sessions will be either live webinar sessions, or we may have some sessions on campus. As of now, many classes are still scheduled to be online or hybrid during fall quarter. So if that is still the case in late September, the weekday Japan Week sessions may be online as well. We don't know yet. We're still working out which sessions will be online, live webinar sessions, or a live session on campus. Oops. Oh, and we have 3 main guests for this year's Japan Week. Our first guest is Dr. Shibata from Japan. He will be talking about robotics and AI, that's artificial intelligence in healthcare. And he is a creator of the therapeutic robot called Paro. And it's a baby seal robot, as you can see here. Paro is used in various kinds of therapy for people with dementia, cancer, PTSD, depression, anxiety, insomnia, and anger management. And by inviting Dr. Shibata and Paro to Japan Week, we can introduce Paro's AI and robotics technology to students in the computer science, engineering, and nursing fields, and to the broader community for use in senior homes, clinics, and hospitals. And Paro is a robot, so when he gets tired and needs more energy, he is charged with a pacifier. And is that a clever idea to charge the battery, using a pacifier? And he gets tired, so he kind of closes his eyes and goes to sleep. And Paro is loved by kids, and Paro doesn't bite, bark, or run away. So it doesn't scare kids away. Even depressed children open up to Paro and talk to their therapist through Paro. And Paro is popular among senior citizens also. According to Dr. Shibata, older people who are depressed or have dementia even smile and talk to Paro and receive comfort. And this Paro has a happy birthday hat. And they always look very happy around Paro. And our second guest is from the local Nintendo USA headquarters. A Nintendo software engineer will talk to us about Japan's influence on the game industry. So our students are really looking forward to this session. And we have asked him to talk on Saturday to the general public also. And our third guest is a professional origami artist from Florida. And origami folding techniques have been used in space technology. So we're hoping she can tie her origami knowledge with how it can be used in modern technology. And last but not least, we're planning to invite local performers, artists, and exhibitors, but we're not sure if we can have them on campus on Saturday. We need to first see how the COVID situation improves and get the college's approval and then decide. So we still don't know yet. And as usual, students are planning to have 5 contests again this year: an origami contest, character bento contest, and then a cosplay costume contest, kendama contest. Nick and Zach are Bellevue College alum, and Nick is former world kendama champion, and they're both very talented. They're twin brothers, and we always have them as our kendama contest judges. And we'll also probably have the Japan trivia contest again. The top 3 participants will win awards like Wajimaya gift cards. So thank you, Tomio-san, for supporting Japan Week. And a group of student leaders are busy planning this year's Japan Week for the weekday sessions and the weekend Saturday public day sessions. And we need especially promote Dr. Shibata's Paro session. We need to reach out to nursing homes, hospitals, clinics, therapists, and so on to introduce the great benefit Paro can provide to our community. So that's it from me about Japan Week from Bellevue College. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do you have a press release or something you could send to the newspaper? That we could-
Yes, eventually we will. Yeah, but we need to get a lot of
the
approval
sooner the
from the
better.
school. Yeah, we have to, so students write, I have to approve, and then the school has to approve, and there are a lot of steps that we have to go through, but we will eventually, yes.
And as you notice, the Council General has been very supportive of all
Yes.
our program. And I guess I just want to make a pitch that the Council General, Hiro-san, they're supporting the 120th anniversary of our newspaper. 1902, I think it started out as a Hokubei Jiji or something like that. In 1918, it was converted to North American Post, and it went to 1942, and suspended to 46, and that's when a number of people, Elaine's grandfather and Mr. Kubota, who's my father's cousin, restarted it, and that's how I got recruited into the paper. And in 1988, we made it an official English section. So before that, it was primarily Japanese with a little bit of English. But in 1988, when they asked me to get involved, I said, I can't read Japanese, so it has to be partly English. So that's where the English part of North American Post got it started. So anyway, we appreciate all the support we've been getting, and we're going to celebrate our 120th year in July, what is it? July 21st, is that Hiro-san? I think some way, and with the support of the Council General's office, and we appreciate that. So, but in any organization have a event, we like you to give us as much notice. Unfortunately, we only come out twice a month, so a lot of time, you know, we don't get the information early enough, so we'll put in information as we need. But thank you again. I think, Sami-san, when was the next date that we chose?
It will be July 14th.
July?
14th.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Well, thank all of you. Appreciate the update on the manor. I guess there's still 50 rooms, right? And so you're saying there's a vacancy. That's good to know, because before that there was some waiting lists, so people are wondering about that. Yeah.
Yep, still got some vacancies, but thank you all for having me. I do appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you then. Oh, Harry, did
Thank
you
you.
have
Yeah.
anything to say? Oh. He's
you.
a technician. He puts all this together. So thank you. And then Dale, I guess, left us, but Dale does all the contacting. So, okay, well,
Yeah.
thanks again. We'll see you.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.